I know it's hard at times being a Muslim and going to school where you might be one of very few Muslims or might be the only Muslim amongst so many other kids. Having to explain to others all the time why we only eat halal, why we dress this way, why this is so, why that is so. Then facing all these bullies saying mean things to you about being a Muslim. But we aren't the first ones to face these problems. You know who was the first of our ummah to face this? The greatest of Allah's creation, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you have been through any kind of bullying, you can imagine at least a little bit how he might have been feeling. Can you imagine how bad he must have felt? Imagine the city of Makkah 1,000 years ago. People were worshipping idols, going on with their life, and suddenly this man comes and says, stop, what you're doing is wrong. It was normal for them to treat women so badly that they used to bury their daughters. But this man comes and he tells them to respect their women. He tells them that he tells them to give charity when they didn't care about the poor. They treated poor people like animals. And he tells them to give them a part of their wealth to these poor. Honor the orphans who we treat so badly. You want us to honor them? That was all so weird for them. Was he right? Yes, of course he was right. But can you imagine how strange this was for them? And how odd he must have felt in between them? You know, before Islam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was one of the most popular, the most loved people in Mecca. People respected him, they trusted him. But when one day he gets the revelation and he doesn't understand what's going on, so he goes and visits Waraka, who was a wise old man living in Mecca. And Waraka tells him that he is a prophet, and this was the angel Jibreel who brought the message of Allah to him. And you know what else Waraka said? He said that now your people are going to treat you so badly that in fact you're going to have to leave this town. Can you imagine what a shock this must have been for him at that time? I'm sure you can. You know, one day he's like so popular and happy, and then suddenly Waraka is now telling him that now your people are going to hate you. And then, you know, this is exactly what happened. He was the odd one out amongst these people. But he never felt ashamed of his deen. In fact, you know what he did? He went out and announced to the people about Islam. He started preaching them about Islam. Openly preaching them about Islam. And so must we. You know, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had training in this. You know how? You know, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a shepherd when he was younger. In fact, guess what? All of the other prophets were also shepherds. Isn't that amazing? Why did Allah make all of the prophets shepherds? What's so special about being a shepherd? Why not, you know, a horse, you know, somebody who takes care of horses or something else, I don't know, zookeepers, whatever. Why shepherds? Well, they learn important lessons from it. They learned very important lessons from it. They learn to be patient. They learn to lead people. They learn to be leaders. You know, often people are also like sheep. We, people, are like sheep. Yep, sometimes I'm like sheep too. And you are too. And we kind of like being like sheep. Let me explain to you how that is. We don't like being the odd one out. You know how sheep just go in one direction altogether? And that's how we are. If somebody, you know, if a group of people are doing something and you are there, then you also want to, you know, fit in and be, you know, doing the same thing. You don't want to be the odd one out. For example, you know, if everybody's standing and one kid just sitting down and doesn't stand up, then he's going to be the odd one out, right? So, you know, that's kind of like how we are. We like to just follow the herd and do what everybody else is doing, not be the odd one out. But as Muslims, especially Muslims amongst non-Muslims, we are a lot of times like shepherds, not like sheep. We have to be like the shepherds. You know, my mom used to always say this to me when I was young. I don't know if your mom says to you or not, that if all your friends jump down the well, will you? So, you know, we Muslims, we don't just follow the herd just like that. Do you want to be like the sheep, or do you want to be like the shepherd? Do you want to be just following what everybody else is doing, or do you want to do what is right? I would say you want to be like the shepherd, not like the sheep, even if that means being the weird one. And then, you know, you will eventually see, inshallah, that these other sheep will also follow you. In many ways, you will find that other people are following you. The girl wearing hijab is not like every other kid in her school. She is unique. And she's the shepherdess, not following the sheep. Similarly, the child praying at school is not like every other child at school. He is not the sheep, but the shepherd. Doing what is right despite being made fun of, despite feeling so odd and strange. Who does that remind you of? Who else was there who did the same? Of course, it was the best of Allah's creation, the best of all man, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, doesn't that make you a little bit like him? I think it does. And you know what? One day, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Islam started as something strange, and it will go back to being something strange. So give good news of paradise to strangers. Wow. So tell me now, is Islam considered something strange? Are you considered weird? Are you considered strange for doing the Islamic things that you do? If the answer is yes, then congratulations of paradise to you. Because you are one of those people he was talking about, that Islam started as something strange. Those people, the early Muslims and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he was a stranger. He was the weird one there, and you are the one as well. So, you know, there's a lot similar between you and him. So that's it. So inshallah, I hope you're going to take charge, and instead of letting yourself feel ashamed, you want to feel proud of your deen and make others see the greatness in your deen. So make sure you leave some comments below the video. I would love to see your feedback and tell me what you learned from the video. And I will see you in the next video, where I'm going to specifically